Yo, is this a jazz joint?
Air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. I feel that air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. Take off. I'm on a rocket, a space dog. Bought a new car from Elon, wanna race. I've been asking how long is it gonna take. I've been cracking the car, had to break it safe. I've been riding my wrongs, had to change my ways. I was stuck in one place, so I had to shake. They try holding me down, but I found my way. Roddy Rich and no bicycle love me. Ride away, then my heart went on ice again. Find the balance, my patience been going thin. In the field every day till I reach the end. Popping up on your side like we out of bounds. Ain't no way that they think that it's stopping now. I've been waiting for my turn to come around. I've been waiting for my turn to come around. Air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. I feel that air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out.
What's up, football fans, and welcome to the Air It Out podcast, brought to you by Inside the Hashes. I know y'all see it. I don't know how many weeks this is, but the streak is still intact. Okay, some people thought that the streak was us actually coming on weekly. No, the streak was having all four of us on. All four of us on consecutively. So the streak is not broken yet, ladies and gentlemen. The streak is not broken yet, ladies and gentlemen. Coach, how are you feeling, sir?
I feel amazing after that explanation. Listen, the streak is alive, people. The streak is alive. Oh, man, but I love it. Back here, ready to go. Oof, I'm not going to lie. We got some good topics today, and one of the first ones I can't wait for.
Yeah. I like it. Coach, we heard you had to make some business decisions on the football field today. So we understand and we appreciate it. All good. Darius, what's up, sir? How are you? Say what's up to the people.
We back. The streak was not people thought the streak was over.
We
all thought of. We back. I think this is 8 weeks now. Eight weeks. 8 weeks.
8 of
so
them.
I'm excited to be back, man. Football, I mean, it's not really football, but we got the rookies and mini camp, so we getting some action. We getting to see some of these players throw the ball, make some plays and different things like that. So I'm excited. Like Darren said, man, first topic. Matter of fact, not just the first topic, but the second topic, third topic, all the topics. We got a great show for you guys. So I'm ready, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited as well. And we cannot forget about the Juan plus Juan. The one and only. Juan, say what's up to the folks, sir.
Back from my trip abroad. Finally good to be back on the pod. Keeping it consistent and throwing fire takes like a Kendrick Lamar diss track.
Hey, yo.
Woo! Okay, so it's hot fire today.
Yeah, he went
That's
there.
all that I heard. It was hot fire.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
He's choosing violence.
I am choosing violence today.
He must be wearing black Air Forces. My name is Avery. So what? Let's talk about it. Who y'all got up in this rap beef so far? Because maybe it's not over. We haven't heard any responses. But where y'all have it right now? What is it? Tied?
It's got me feeling euphoric. So
I'm sorry.
They're not like us, yo.
It's
that simple. They not like us.
It's about time that we got some good diss tracks coming out on a consistent basis. When was the last time we had diss tracks come out like this and they were actually entertaining? Like, I can't remember.
I got a hot take for about the whole beef right now.
Drop it right now.
It's not even a hot take. I want to say this. I love that Drake was able to bring Kendrick out to rap and like go at it. And I love that Kendrick was able to bring Drake out to rap. Because Drake, he'd be on his melodies, he's singing. But Drake is rapping right now. Like something we ain't really been seeing in a while. And I felt like Kendrick was really the only person to bring. I'm enjoying it. It's just great music. Like whoever side you on, if you like Kendrick, like Drake, it's just great music. it's a great time to be a hip hop fan and just
My
enjoy the
hot take
music.
for the
Enjoy
beat, like, you know how like this whole thing started with like that, you know, with the Future song.
Mhm.
It actually started from the first person shooter song with J. Cole, and then J. Cole quickly jumped out of that beef as soon as
He chose peace. My boy chose
No,
peace.
he knew it wasn't for him.
Yeah,
The
no,
shot
like,
was not
Chose
for him.
peace.
when he dropped seven rounds or 7 minutes,
7-minute drill. Woo!
like it just
So-
he knew like he wasn't about that. Too quickly took to the stage to apologize. I'm just like, Cole, I respect that move. You made a good money decision right there. You're still kind of in the middle between these two, and that's always how it's been. It's always been Kendrick on one side, Drake on the other, and J. Cole just like somewhere in the middle between them.
Listen, I'm going to say it like this about the whole rap beef. I'm a fan. All right, y'all. Listen, we're going to jump into
This
jump
is the
into-
killer right here.
That was fair. That was smooth.
This
That
is
was
the killer,
smooth.
people.
You know, every time I
When
think
this
like
came out, this was the end of the whole beef. This was the end of the beef.
Hey, no. You got to
feel
cut
like-
it. Copyright
I'm sorry.
infringement.
What is it?
I feel like every time, like I'll say this, if we ever have Chris Thomas back on this show ever again, in Avery's mind, he's just gonna be thinking, I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I love it.
He told
Pure
him to
hate in his heart.
some drums and made the drums to diss him with.
I love it. It's beautiful. All right, listen. This is not the hip hop podcast. This is not Inside Hip Hop. Okay, this is not
That would be
air
a
it
fun
out.
one, guys, but
This is not air out the beef. This is the Air It Out podcast. Okay, so we're going to jump into our first topic, and we're going to actually we'll throw one at you guys first. Jared Goff just got paid, second highest paid. What let's talk about that. Let's start with that. Juan, what are your thoughts on Jared Goff, his new contract from the Detroit Lions?
As a Detroit resident, it is not surprising the security that the contract comes with in terms of 4 years and a no trade clause. So Jared Goff is permanently forever fixated within the Detroit organization. I don't know if $212 million is exactly what you got to pay a man who doesn't even know how to run properly or has fumbled so many times last year. I like Jared Goff. I love the energy he brings. He is a true underdog of a quarterback, a former first-round pick that was supposed to be the promise of one organization out in LA, took him to the promised land but couldn't get the job done, and then we'll see it as a trade dump for Matthew Stafford to Detroit, revitalize his career in a city that many people thought they had been forgotten about. It's a true underdog story that I can appreciate. I don't know if it's worth $170 million guaranteed dollars for him, though. He's a good quarterback. He's a great, I wouldn't say game manager, but he knows how to put the ball in the right places for his playmakers, which Detroit has plenty of. But now, if you're making that kind of money as a quarterback, you're now expected to elevate Detroit from an NFC championship team to a Super Bowl winning, not Super Bowl appearing, Super Bowl winning team. So I love this deal. The whole city of Detroit, no matter what sports goes on, you're always hearing the Jared Goff chants. Let's see if he can live up to the billing and the contract.
Okay. All right, Coach, talk to us. How do you feel about Jared Goff, his new deal? Again, second highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
him and Kirk Cousins should have got the same deal.
Okay.
Him and Kirk Cousins should have got the same deal. It's not to say that that would have been a bad deal for Jared Goff. That's not to say that Kirk Cousins is worse than Jared Goff or better than Jared Goff. The money-wise, it would have made more sense for what he does for that team. He is the great game manager that they've needed, and he does what he needs to do. He has plenty of weapons. He spreads the ball around, and when needed, he can elevate them somewhat. But I don't believe he is the answer for them. I think that money could have been spent elsewhere, which I think is what they've been doing. They have money. They've been spending right. They've given the contracts to the guys that truly deserved it, the Penei Sewells and things. I just don't think that much was needed for Goff. I love the signing. I love him being in Detroit. I think that's a great fit for him. Just, I don't know about 212. 212 is just a bit much for Jared Goff,
Okay.
in my
All right.
opinion.
Okay, Darius, do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts?
We got to look back at the draft when the Detroit Lions came out, right? The players came out, and what were the fans cheering when he came out? Juan said it.
Jared Goff.
What Jared Goff means to that, not just that organization, but to that city. What they did just this past season, you really had no choice but to pay him. You saw what you got with him this past season, right? Like, he's not a bad quarterback. Now, we talk about being the second highest paid player, higher than Patrick Mahomes, right? Like, obviously, he's going to restructure his contract soon. But what Jared Goff did was just reset the market for guys like Tua, whose contract has to be up. Now, he's going to set the bar for Tua. But I like the signing. I think you get your guy. We always talk about getting your franchise quarterback. When you get your franchise quarterback, you build around him. And that's what the Detroit Lions did. They got their franchise quarterback. He means a lot to that team. He means a lot to that city. Why not lock him up for 4 years? He has no trade clause. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but at the end of the day, I think he played well enough to deserve it. And he played better than a good majority of the quarterbacks. We must not forget, this was, like Juan said, he took a team to the Super Bowl. Like, he took the Rams. Yes, we had Sean McVay and his genius offense, but that team still went to the Super Bowl because of their quarterback play. The Lions were, a few plays away from going to the Super Bowl, right? So now they build off that momentum. They build up that defense. As long as Jared Goff doesn't turn the ball over, he's going to be fine. Yes, there's a lot of pressure being one of the highest paid players because now you got to throw for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. You have to be in that conversation for MVP and take your team to the Super Bowl. But if you look at that division, the only real threat in that division is really just the Eagles and the Lions right now. Right? We have some underrated teams, but but that's really just the 1 and 2 right now is those two teams. So I like the signing. I want to see where the Lions are going to go, where he's going to play, how he's going to produce, because now it's going to come with pressure, like we talked about. Now it's going to come with some much needed pressure for him.
One of my coworkers had a hot take that I want to give out here real quick. Arguably, Jared Goff is probably the second best quarterback in the NFC. Arguably.
Okay.
Arguably, maybe, but no. Darius.
No, I think he is.
Hey, Darius. Who beat the Lions again?
I'm just saying. Listen,
wasn't it the 49ers who really
listen? You can't count the 49ers out, but
I'm just saying that's maybe just me because I'm like you saying it's between two people and they the ones that went to the Super Bowl. So you gotta give them credit where credit.
Coach, listen.
I'm sorry, I get it, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. They made it to the bowl.
So I'm gonna say this. I love the signing. I think it was the right thing to do for a myriad of reasons. Number one, you get your quarterback locked up, right? Your franchise guy, you get him locked up for years down the line. The good thing about it as well is you can always, and we've seen quarterback, and Jared Goff is a humble individual, so I can see him restructuring down the line if their cap situation gets muddled, right? I can see him restructuring for sure. But the other thing is Aiden Hutchinson is going into year 3, right? So he's going into year 3. So his contract is coming up, if not this coming season, the following season. But you got your quarterback locked up. You've got your receiver locked up. You got your tackle locked up. So you don't have to – those are 3 marquee positions on the offensive side of the football. So Aiden Hutchinson's contract is coming up. The rest of the guys are pretty young in that regard, right? You've got Jahmyr Gibbs, who just came up. He's a rookie, so you've got 4 more years before you got to pay him, and he's a running back. They don't get paid a lot anyway. You've got Branch in the secondary. Again, coming off, he's young. You've got at least 4 more years before you have to pay him. So this is a situation where they're like, wait, we've got the cap space now. The cap space is proverbially going to go up each year after this. We might as well get him locked in right now before Tua's deal comes in because he's actually accomplished more than Tua. So we might as well. The second reason is because we've seen lesser accomplished quarterbacks get paid similar, if not more, right? A Dakota Prescott, a Kirk Cousins.
I knew it.
Right? A Kirk Cousins. These guys who have not even been as accomplished as Jared Goff, who've not even seen the Super Bowl. And and they're getting these contracts, right? And then the other thing, to your point, Coach, was you don't think he's that guy. This brings me to my third point. Who out there were you going to get to replace him if you weren't going to re-sign him? There's nobody on the market. If Juan's co-worker's hot take is accurate and he's the second best quarterback in the NFC, who are you going to go get him? Who are you going to go get to replace him? Right. And so I think that's where it gets muddled sometimes in when it comes to the market thing. People think about the market and they're always think about just the comparison between numbers and not the comparison between availability. What's available also dictates the market as well. So if there's not a guy out there who's going to be just as good or better than Jared Goff, you got to pay him. And he was absolutely phenomenal last year. So I absolutely love it.
I'm not even saying the market. Just I don't believe he's the guy that's going to put them over the top. I believe he's the guy that can help lead them there.
And that's the thing. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. The way Dan Campbell runs that team, it doesn't run through the quarterback in the first place. No, it runs through physicality. It runs through, we're going to play solid football. We're going to run the football down your throat. We're going to play action. We're going to play solid defense and try not to give up a lot of points. Hence why he went and tried to shore up his secondary, right? Because the secondary was one of the biggest issues that they had last year. So I think this is a situation where they're saying, listen, we're going to win in all three phases. And again, quarterback is a very, very key phase. And again, who else is better than Jared Goff in this situation? He knows the system. The city loves him. He loves the organization. His career is revitalized. He feels I can own the mental space Jared Goff has to be in right now has to be absolutely euphoric.
Yeah.
Funny. I do have one question.
Slid that in there. Slid that in there.
If we were to switch Jared Goff and Brock Purdy, who will go further with the opposite team?
I think it would be they mirror each other entirely too much.
However, I still think it'd be the same. I would still think it'd be the same.
However, I will say this. I think Jared Goff fits Detroit's system much better than he would fit Kyle Shanahan's system, and vice versa. I do think Brock Purdy has a extra added element to his game that Jared doesn't have, which is his legs. So I think that bodes well for him in Shanahan's system. But again, we're talking about Brock Purdy, who has nothing but weapons around him and one of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
It's going to be interesting to see what that Brock Purdy contract's going to look like.
So it'll be.
Hey, they both got solid lines and great weapons at almost every spot, from receiver to tight end to running back.
Are we going to say?
I'm not saying that Detroit's is better, but I also am saying let's not sleep on Amon St. Brown and
there's no sleeping. There's no sleeping on
mentioned Gibbs.
There's no sleeping on the guys.
Let's not talk about Jameson Williams.
But also, let's think about this. Would Brock Purdy be in the position in those situations to win those football games if he wasn't going behind a top 3 defense in the NFL that Detroit does not have? Right, so that plays a part in. So again, this is what I'm saying.
Again, who will go further?
It's all encompassing. Again, we don't know because in Kyle Shanahan's offense,
even with offense, defense,
I don't think he's fully been given the keys just yet. Jared's been fully given the keys, so we don't know. Right, this year is the prove-it year for me for Brock Purdy. This is the year for me, but. Let's not get into that conversation. Let's jump into our first topic. Well, our 1A and 1B topic here. The schedules have been released, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL has released the schedules for all NFL teams. And I just have a very, very simple question. Like, what are the games that are sticking out to you? Okay, what are the games? No more than 3. I said it. No more than 3. Stop with the eyebrows, Darius. Talk to me. What are some games that you are saying, I'm circling this one, I'm watching for sure? Talk to us.
I mean, honestly, come on. Can we the elephant in the room? Darren Shirt. Ravens, Chiefs. Thursday to open up the season, Lamar versus Mahomes. Like that is the game. First of all, it's football, so everybody gonna be tuning in. We're gonna be waiting how many months? So everybody's gonna be tuning in. So that's one game that I'm really, really, really looking forward to. Jets 49ers, the game, Aaron Rodgers, like his first game back from a torn Achilles. And who is he going up against? You just said it. A top 3 defense.
With
Your
the
first
same
game back
defensive
after
lineman
the
that tore his
Achilles.
Achilles.
You're going to the team that you have the most struggle against since you've been in the league. Like, no matter who is he throwing, like, that's the team that's always getting fits. He's coming up a torn Achilles, and that's the first game that he's got to play against that 49ers defense. Mr. Irrelevant versus Aaron Rodgers. I'm really looking forward to that game. I mean, look, the season is here. I'm looking, and then one team, not even just one game, but just any game with the Texans, but most importantly, the Texans and the Cowboys, just because of the friendship that Micah Parsons and CJ Stroud they've had on the offseason. So I'm looking forward to that game. That's a game that I have circled. So I want to see, like, we know they friends off the field, but when it comes down to him, staring at him on the other side, how is he going to play him? Is he going to hit him high? Is he going to help him? You know, like just that friendship type of vibe, or is he really going to be an enemy? And they talking about the Houston Texans being the new team of Texas, right? Like that's what they're saying. So those are the 3 games for me, but I'm just excited for football. I'm excited for the schedule, and I love what the social media teams have done with like releasing and just being creative with that. And the Chargers still have the best social team in the NFL to the day. So
that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I love it. I love it. Good stuff. Yeah, you touched on something. The Michael Parsons and CJ Stroud, I absolutely love. They're like the new Shaq and Charles Barkley. I absolutely love it. I love it. All right, Coach, talk to us. What are the games? Because you got the eyebrows going. We already know where you're going. You want to see your team go ahead and play in Brazil. So
Number one game on the marquee matchup. Us versus the Chiefs. Let's just start there. That one I wanted to put that out there because it's just like, yo, what a way to open up the season. You give us what we wanted to see, and now we getting it again to start the year. I'm sorry, this is a great way to start it off. If I'm being real, my second one is, well, shoot, I'm from Philly. We play the Eagles. I'm from Philly. We play the Eagles, but they come down to M&T Bank, and man, between like my new family all being Eagles fans, and I'm the only Ravens fan here. Listen here, it's gonna be a hard week the 1st of December. But realistically, I got one game that is probably going to be a little bit of a surprise. I want to see the Texans versus the Buffalo Bills. That's going to be a good game. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Stephon either going to go crazy that game, or the Bills is going to show Stephon, yeah, we didn't need you, cuz we got this new young bull, Keon Coleman. He really himothy. I'm just saying. But hey, that's another one. Honorable mention, though. Honorable mention? Can I get one?
Oh, wifey knows where your heart is, though, Coach. He knows.
Oh yeah. Today. I see what we want to do today. We want to try to tease, but it's okay though. Because when we go ahead and blow y'all Eagles out by 40,
love it,
and run you home.
Hashtag 450.
Yes.
All right.
Juan, talk to us, man. What are the games that you're like, man, gotta see it?
I'm obviously first off going to take my New York Jets with one of their games on the schedule. Looking through it was really tough to pick which one I am in the most anticipation of. I am going to have to say that 49ers game is really looking mad appealing. The fact of the matter is you're going up against Leonard Floyd, who was the Buffalo Bill that tore Aaron Rodgers' Achilles. That Robert Saleh's former team where he cut his bread and butter to become the head coach of the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers' favorite team growing up in Chico, California. Like the storylines for this Monday Night Football game alone is insane. On top of that, it's the first Monday Night Football game of the season, and Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles game on the first Monday Night Football of the last season. NFL really knows how to stick in the Jets.
Job's not finished.
like NFL knows how to stick at the Jets fans. That's all I'll say about that. My second one, I'm surprised y'all didn't mention it because we were talking about it earlier. Sunday Night Football opener of the season. The Los Angeles Rams go to Detroit to take on the Lions for a rematch of last season's playoff game and round 2 of Matthew Stafford versus Jared Goff with a fresh new contract at that. That's going to be interesting to see. Matthew Stafford back in the city where he cut his teeth, lost in the playoffs, and wasn't even happy to see Detroit advance into the playoff. He was just all bitter about it in his press conference last year. Let's see how he does in round 2. And then the last one is in week 8. It is Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. I'm talking Chicago going to Washington, watching the number 1 overall pick versus the number 2 overall pick. We hear how generational Caleb Williams is and how he's all this Patrick Mahomes talent and all this and all that. And Jaden Daniels having a tremendous skill set and talent, but is still a little frail as a quarterback in and of itself. So let's see how it goes between number 1 and number 2. I'm really excited to see that one.
Yeah, man. Some really good, some really good games to see. It's funny. Mine, I'm going to be a homer, of course, right? I got to give one for the home team. So I'm interested to see the Falcons versus the Eagles in week 2, primetime football. We don't do well in Philly. So, you know, I'm interested to see what Kirk Cousins can do in Philly. I don't believe Matt Ryan has ever beaten the Eagles as long as he was a Falcon in Philadelphia, and he's from Pennsylvania. So I think I'm a little scarred there. So I'm very interested to see that. And just, again, to Coach, to your point, so many of my friends and family, including you, are Eagles fans. And so, you know,
You snuck that in there.
You caught that?
I caught that.
You know what?
So I'm interested. I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see that game. But honestly, it's funny. A lot of the games it stinks, but the reality is are kind of centered around the Eagles because they have a very tough stretch again, just like they did last year, where they're going to be facing some really tough teams. I'm trying to pull their schedule up here. Where are we at? Oh gosh. Yeah, they got the Browns and the where is it at? I just saw it. I lost it, guys. Browns. There we go. Browns, Bengals, Jags, Cowboys. They get a game against the Commanders, but then they got the Rams, the Ravens. Like that's a tough stretch of games right there, and I'm really interested to see how the Eagles are going to fare. Again, just seeing the debacle that the Eagles had last year was very interesting to watch. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. But the last one is not really a game; it's more so a team, kind of like you, Darius. I'm interested to see what two teams are actually going to do. The Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are actually going to be a lot better than people are expecting. I think the Jaguars are going to put some numbers up, and I think they're going to play some solid defense. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC as a whole. And then the Titans, man, oh man, they got some weapons. I'm interested to see what the Tennessee Titans are going to do. You bring in Snead on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, we know about Calvin Ridley. D-Hop is still there. You bring in Tony Pollard. Like, you surrounded Will Levis with a bunch of talent, and so I'm interested to see what those two teams are going to do. All right, so we're going to jump into our next topic. This one doesn't have to be as in-depth. It may not even be as long, but I want to know from you guys, because there are still a lot of very notable names on the market. So I want you guys to rank the remaining, like some of the remaining free agents out there. Who are the guys? Who are some guys that you're like, man, like this guy should have been signed already, without question? Coach, I'm gonna start with you. Who's the guy that you say, man, I'm surprised he doesn't have a team?
Can the Baltimore Ravens, and we don't need him, still go and sign Justin Simmons just so we can have the best defensive free agent still there? Like, no other reason. We don't need him. There's no point for him. But he is still the best defensive free agent. He is just there. Why? I don't understand. Are we not a league where we need more safety play and elite safety play at that? But no one is touching him. I don't care if he's 30. Are we not going to go after someone that has been a consistent problem for offenses for the last 4 years now? I'm sorry, that's just ridiculous. That's number one. A guy I think that definitely needs to be signed, and I'm a little surprised he still has yet to be signed because he still averages 8 sacks every single time he plays in a season. Yannick Ngakoue. The guy, he's consistent. He may never be a double-digit guy. He may never. But man, if he's going to give you his 8 every year. Every year you can count on 8 sacks from that guy, or at least maybe a little more. And that is something that you can't not have in this league. You need great pass rushers, and he is one of those guys. It is what it is. Also, anybody think Dalvin Cook going to do anything else with his career? Because I don't know. Like, all the running backs that's there, the Melvin Gordons, Dalvin Cooks, it's just like, it's washed up city out there. The same way it is for Mike Thomas out there on, I'm still trying to figure out why he hasn't retired. But, hey, he still got stuff in the tank, I guess. Yeah.
All righty then.
For you.
All righty then. Well, Juan, who are your guys? Who are the guys that you're like, man?
I'll give 2. The first one I'm gonna say is Stephon Gilmore. He may be 33. I know.
This guy, come on, get out.
I tried to save you some. Darius.
Come on, that was the first person I thought of. Come on.
It's interesting that despite being 33 years old, he's still one of the better spot starters in the NFL. Still one of those, like, he's not a shutdown corner anymore, but he can still go up with some of the best receivers. Not locked down, but provide enough coverage where you can't get open fast enough for your guy to see you. So I'm surprised that he's still out there. Probably the age and injury history with Gilmore still kind of frightening teams, but you take a flyer on him on a 1-year, I'd say $9 million deal. That's more than fair for someone like that. And then the other one I'm going to give it is a quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. I am very surprised that he's still out there, not to be a starter in this league, but at least a mentor, Joe Flacco-ish style quarterback prior to his amazing year with the Browns. Look, Ryan Tannehill isn't the athlete that he used to be after his years in Tennessee, but he still has a lot of valuable knowledge that a young quarterback could benefit from it. And I'll say it right now, Chicago Bears signed Ryan Tannehill so that there can be at least a veteran presence in that locker room with Caleb Williams, because who are your other 2 backups? Really think about who the other 2 backups in Chicago are.
I do agree with you. I agree with you that Ryan Tannehill should be on the roster. I just don't agree that it should be Chicago. Me personally, I think there's 2 teams that I would like to see him be a backup on, and that would be the Raiders or the Texans, right? Texans with a young quarterback at C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud seemingly does not need any help, right? But at the same time, having a veteran quarterback in the event that C.J. Stroud ends up getting hurt, I think that they don't lose a ton with having Ryan Tannehill back on the back end. Can he do all the things that C.J. Stroud does? Absolutely not. But let's not forget, he came out of college as a receiver. He still got some athleticism to him. I think he could. And then my like shot in the dark team in the event that he just doesn't stay healthy again would be the Indianapolis Colts for Anthony Richardson. One, to show him
Basically, any other AFC South team.
I'm just saying, like, hey, listen, brother, like you
They
gotta
signed
stay
Flacco
healthy.
already.
I'm just saying, you gotta stay healthy. He can help him learn that, obviously, with his injury history as well. So I think that those are some of the teams that I could see him going to. But for me, the free agents that I'm actually shocked that don't have a team right now. I'm going to start with the like honorable mention. Excuse me, honorable mention. My honorable mention is Hunter Renfrow. I understand the injury history and all those different things, but Hunter Renfrow is an absolute stud when it comes to running routes in the slot. From the slot, he's one of the best route runners in the NFL. I understand that the injury history is there. I get it. But you mean to tell me that this guy can't come in and help a veteran quarterback? Because that's what he really needs. He needs a Tom Brady to turn him into a Wes Welker, to turn him into a Julian Edelman. He needs something like that. If he gets an Aaron Rodgers who can actually, because Aaron Rodgers had Randall Cobb actually looking like shades of himself last year. And so I think that he needs a quarterback like that, a veteran quarterback who knows, okay, listen, it's 33. We need 3 yards. We don't need 11. Hunter Renfrow is going to get you those. He's going to run the route to get you 3 yards, 4 yards, if that. And so I think if he can get with a quarterback like that, I think that'll be a really, really beneficial situation. The next I would say is on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to say Xavier Howard. Again, I understand injury.
Just skip me. Just skip me. I don't want to go no more.
We're getting there. Is Xavier Howard? I'm just surprised that he's not on the team right now. And I get the injuries and everything like that, but the guy he's just nice. Like I don't, he nice. He can play corner. Like I don't know. And Darius, I hope this is one of yours as well. And I jumped in here because I didn't want y'all taking on mine. Sorry. But I hope that this is one of yours. But I'm going to say it. Shaq Leonard. I'm surprised that he's not on the NFL roster. Again, understand the history. But we're talking about one of the better linebackers in the NFL when he's like on the field, knows the system, can actually just run the defense. I mean, let's not forget what he was doing on the Colts. The dude was just an absolute. We were talking shades of Luke Kuechly and what is his name from Patrick Willis, and like we were talking about, this is one of the next great linebackers. So I'm shocked that he's not on the team. But Darius, hold on, we gotta let Darius go. We gotta let Darius go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say put him in the attacking 4-3 and that you have a top 3 linebacker anywhere. You put him in the attacking 4-3 scheme. Just saying.
I feel you. All right, Darius, you can go. I'm sorry, I had to get mine in.
All right. You stole mine too. And I'm going to say the same too. I'm going to start with Stephon Gilmore. Even if he doesn't play, this guy's a former defensive player of the year, which cornerbacks don't get. That year he did get it. He had one of the best seasons as a cornerback in the NFL. And he also has a Super Bowl. So he has playoff experience. He knows what it takes to win. So if you're even not going to start him, or he can be a rotation who plays, he can come in and he can mentor those young corners and build them up if you don't think he's going to produce the way he had to produce because of his injury history, because of his age. You don't need him to be a 3-down corner. Maybe come in on a 3rd down, like you talk about Hunter Renfrow, 3rd down and 3. We need a stop. We need this guy to lock up, let's say, A.J. Brown, Stephon Gilmore, go match up with him one-on-one man coverage. That's what we need you to do. We don't need you to do an entire game. We just need you to, for these certain plays, like an NBA with the role players, he'll go in a corner, hit this 3. That's the type of player I think Stephon Gilmore can be in the right system with the right team and be a mentor. Same with Xavier Howard. Like we were talking about him as being one of the best corners in the NFL. Like not too long ago, we were having this conversation about him. But again, Avery alluded to it, the injury history, that scares teams. You've been injured, you're getting up there in age, and what are you asking for? Now, if you're coming in, you want to prove yourself 1 year, let's say $4 to $5 million deal, 3.5 guaranteed. That's a fair deal for a guy like Xavier Howard to come in to a system and prove himself. to get a better deal after he. All right, I say 4 mil. I say 4 or 5, between 4 and 5 million, just to prove yourself. Come in, learn the system, and mentor your young corners and that defense. I think those are the two players that I'm kind of scratching my head, but I can see them getting signed either at the starting training camp or right when we're in the middle of the season, right? Like when we're in that November, December, when teams are trying to make that final playoff push and they feel like they're maybe one veteran piece away. So those are the two guys for me.
I like it. I'll throw another one in there too, or another two in there. I think Eddie Jackson should definitely be on the roster as well. I don't know what the asking price is. I don't know what the thoughts, but I think Eddie Jackson, as well as Micah Hyde. I believe Micah Hyde should be on the roster as well. I don't think he's Micah Hyde as of old, and I think honestly the reason he's not still a Buffalo Bill is strictly from a cap space standpoint. They were just their cap was just absolutely terrible. So I think he was a cap casualty, but I think he absolutely should be on the NFL roster still. I think he's one of the best in the NFL.
I'll throw one out more. He's 38 years old, but he's still, I feel like, could still do a lot of good to a roster. Calais Campbell, despite not doing that well with the Falcons last year, no eye-popping numbers or anything, the man can still be a steady presence on a defense.
He was the anchor on that defense last year. Let's just call it what it is. Like, I understand that
sometimes you don't got to make the plays. Just your presence on the field, your energy on the field, you're motivating. That's all sometimes you need.
His insistence and impact in the running game cannot be overshadowed. Like, yes, he doesn't have the sack numbers, but what he did in the running game and what he did from, again, his presence on the football field, making people say, yeah, we're probably not going to run to that side. Yeah, absolutely. He should still be on the NFL roster. And the guy, I mean, he just keeps himself in good shape. He doesn't, he doesn't miss game. He doesn't miss time. The dude is just, and he's like a consummate professional. He's such a large individual. You wouldn't think that he's that nice, but he's such a nice guy. So
teddy bear.
I agree. All right. Now we got to jump into the topic that I was most looking forward to. I loved all these topics, but this is the one I was most looking forward to. I'm not even going to give it an intro. I'm just going to drop this right here. I just want to know, okay? Like, there's been a lot of talk going around here, okay? And I need to know, okay? So, I will give it the intro. Austin Rivers. For those of you not familiar, Austin Rivers is the infamous coach Doc Rivers' son, who is now a sports analyst. He is not currently on an NFL roster. He's a free agent. But he said that he believes that he could take 30 guys, 30 NBA guys, and drop them in the NFL, and they'd be successful. And that you could not do the same with the NFL to the NBA. He said that NBA players would translate better in the NFL than NFL players would in the NBA. Darius, the floor is yours.
I'm going to keep this short and simple. I feel like we have this conversation, like the NBA, Twitter, or whatever you want to call it, have this conversation almost every year, some way, somehow. This conversation gets brought up. I don't know if it's for more views or whatever their agenda is, but it's for something. There's only one player in my mind that it comes to my mind, and I think we could all somewhat agree on this just because of his impact in the game. The only one player in the NBA right now, in my opinion, that you can take from the NBA and put him in the NFL, and he would have somewhat of success. I wouldn't say he's going to be as successful as he is in the NBA, but I think he would have a solid NFL career. And to me, it's LeBron James. It's got to be LeBron James, to me, in my opinion, just because of, one, his build. The guy's, 6'8", 250, 260. And the guy's 38 years old. And we just talked about Calais Campbell. He's moving like he's back in Miami in his early, like he's back in Cleveland. That's the only player that I can really see really going in. You drop him in not any team, but you drop him to a team, and he can have somewhat of a successful NFL career. He may not put up great numbers, but he'll put up some decent numbers. But like I said, we have this conversation. It's pointless. Both sports to me are physical sports, the way however you look at it, right? Physical on the body. When you go up, you get hit for a foul. Physical for everybody. You go up for a catch, you come down, you got to get hit. Now we see the NFL, they're trying to limit the injuries and the concussions. And we talked about the hip drop tackle a few weeks ago. So the NFL is getting a little bit, they're trying to protect their players more. So maybe that's where Austin Rivers is coming from. But don't get it twisted. The NFL is a physical game. It's one of the most physical games. They ended up be fighting like hockey. But we see some hits where you like, oh, I don't know how he got up after that. And he started wobbling. You think Steph Curry going to take a hit like that? And he going to get up? You think Luka could take a hit like that? James Harden can take a hit like that? You think Austin Rivers can take a hit like that and really get up and then Thursday night play another game and still
No. Bump Thursday night. Do you think, to your point, that Austin Rivers could take that hit, get up, and then the next play?
The next play. We've seen guys with just the toughness. I'm talking Julian Edelman, 5'11", get hit.
And that's the thing. Yeah, you got up from that one.
Get up from another one.
Can you get up with it?
Yeah.
What?
Because is your body going to recover in time? That's the last thing was it. Is your body going to recover in time for you to get ready to play a Thursday night game? Like, these are the type of things that these players go through. Yeah, NBA got back-to-back games. Okay, not saying NBA is soft, but the NFL is they tackle, for God's sake. Like, they tackle. NBA don't.
Juan, the floor is yours.
I'll give you two and leave it at that because you provided some good ones. One for offense, one for defense. On offense, I'm going to go with De'Aaron Fox. The man is one of the quickest players in the NBA. He is so fast running down the court. It is just insane. I think if he had like enough training as a route runner, he could be one of the better wide receivers in the NFL at 6'3", 185 pounds. The man's got quickness. I feel like he could be another tool for the Miami Dolphins to use for that revving engine of an offense that they got going. And then on defense, I'm gonna be a homer. I'm gonna say the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo at 6'11", and if you just put on a couple more pounds, could be a great defensive tackle down the middle, just stuffing the run the whole time. The man could take up 2, maybe even 3 running lanes if he wanted to, just by going for the feet of the offensive lineman. Plus, he is crazy strong and aggressive as hell as a player. I'd love to see the Greek freak in pads just taking on people.
De'Aaron Fox would get folded. Giannis Antetokounmpo would get moved by the smallest of offense. I would move Giannis Antetokounmpo. If I was I would move.
This is just a bitter Heat fan just sprinkling it out.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. From a former D-line coach, Giannis has no business in the D-line group at all. You better put him. If you put him on D-line, you better put him at end. Seriously.
Exactly. If you put
him at end, not inside.
Put him at end. But if he's at D tackle, he's getting washed.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna look like Jason Kelce out there.
Hey.
They're gonna be like, "Yo, who is this Avery Collins person? He's going to the Hall of Fame." What? All right, coach.
All right, so I'll make mine clear. Y'all said LeBron is probably the only one that legitimately have a chance, right? I disagree with that. I do think it's a few guys that can probably play from the NBA to the NFL and actually be seriously good. One is Zion Williamson. You put Zion either at left tackle, right tackle, or you put him inside. Now we talking. Zion is not a small boy, people. Zion is about 6'7", 6'8", and he is a athletic 6'7", 6'8". He can move. Think of Calais Campbell. Think of Orlando Brown, but agile enough to move and keep up with these fast new D tackles, these ends. He can actually bend with them as they bend. That is a great lineup. Let him get some time in. I think that can work for him. That would be one. Second, and I want y'all to hear me out. Anthony Edwards will be a top 10, top 15 wide receiver in this league. And I'm gonna say this. He would need at least 5 years before I would give him that title.
Just because he looks like Michael.
No, not even. We all agree. The reason that a lot of these NBA players can't play in this league is toughness, yes?
Yeah.
Y'all name me another NBA player that y'all think is kind of just tougher. Tougher, not just physically, but I'm talking that mental toughness that you need to get up every single time, go over the middle every single time. And let's not forget, Ant Edwards is 6'4", 225.
I'm gonna let you finish.
In 5 years, I can see him being the top guy. He's one of the only guys I can actually see doing that, other than maybe Bron. But again, he needs years, I would say, before I even consider that. But him to just come over, I feel like he can make an impact at receiver.
Okay.
Period.
All right.
Real simple. I'm sorry. Ant Edwards is him.
So I'm going to start off with this. Number one. You ever notice that NFL players are never saying that they can play in the NBA? That's the first thing. Why do these NBA players keep doing this? Why do they keep doing this to this? The NFL, they don't care. They know football players are the cream of the crop athletically. Period. That's just the fact. They are the cream of the crop. From an explosion, an agility, a strength, all comprehensive. They're the cream of the crop athlete. Can soccer players outrun NFL players? Absolutely. But can they outlift them? No. Can NBA players outjump NFL players? Sure. But can they outbang them? No. Can baseball players play longer? Absolutely. But are they as physical? Listen. Okay, so that's the first. The second thing. Let's talk about these players. Okay. LeBron James, yes, without question. I think LeBron James could absolutely be successful in the NFL to an extent. I think LeBron's ceiling is a top 20 receiver. Top 20. Here's the reason. LeBron, as fast as he is, as high as he jumps, strong as he is, as a receiver, you need quickness. So unless you're putting him at a tight end, and if you put him at tight end, I'm sorry, he's going to get bodied by linebackers. Could you imagine LeBron James trying to handle Fred Warner? Stop it. It's not happening. Okay? So you got to put him at receiver. And if you put him at receiver, those guys, y'all remember a corner named Corey Webster? Y'all remember? Most people don't remember Corey Webster because he's not a Hall of Famer. He was never a big name. Okay? Played for the New York Giants. There was this receiver named, I don't know, you might know his name. His name was Terrell Owens. Arguably the best receiver to ever play the game of football. Corey Webster, and mind you, Corey Webster is 5'11", 190 pounds. Terrell Owens, 6'3", 226. Okay? I saw Corey Webster absolutely manhandled over and over and over Terrell Owens at the line. Corners are not afraid if you're big. They don't care. These corners in the NFL do not care how big you are. They care how skilled you are. So size means nothing to them. And Bron lacks quickness. So he's not getting off the line. So you're just going to have to throw jump balls to him. Okay, cool. Mike Williams. Again, top 20. That's his ceiling. Okay, so that's LeBron. You named Zion. I didn't think off the offensive line. I think he's a little light in the butt, like the lower half. So I think he would have to
put a little weight on him. He got to develop.
But I like the comp on offensive line. I absolutely love that, actually. But he's got to put some weight on the lower half. And for me, I think a guy who could actually play in the NFL, a couple guys. Number one, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook absolutely could play in the NFL because you said, again, that mindset, that dog, that he's a dog.
Then I don't want to hear nothing about Ann Edwards.
I wasn't going to say nothing about Ann Edwards.
You said wide receiver.
Absolute dog.
Question.
I think Russ could be a shifty running back. A shifty type, like a Jahmyr Gibbs, catch the ball out the backfield, and get going, right? I think that's what you could see from a Russell Westbrook. He's not running up the middle. He's not running people over. He's not doing those, but I could see Russell playing running back and getting busy. And Edwards, I could see him playing receiver, but you said top 15, top 20. Nah.
Again, I said in 5 years, maybe I can see that.
Yeah, I can't see it.
And that's at his best.
All right, I'll give you that.
I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but coming in.
I can give you that. Another guy that I think could play in the NFL, Lou Dort. I think Lou Dort could absolutely play in the NFL. I think he could play some linebacker. I think he could come down and hit somebody. I think Lou Dort would absolutely come through and hit somebody and get up and be like, let's do it again. What's up? Like, I think Lou Dort got that type of attitude in him. Like, I think he like one of them got a screw loose a little bit.
Like, Canada, but he ain't nice like them.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, quick question. Is James Jones still a basketball player that plays in the league? Yeah. Because his name is Bloodsport, people. I'm pretty sure he can actually, play in football.
Another guy that I think could potentially play in the NFL from strength and tenacity alone, I just don't know where you would put him. Steven Adams is a strong individual, dog. That brother is strong. I don't know where you would put him, though.
DN.
I think that's the only way. He would have to be a 3-4 DN.
Yep, DN.
3-4 DN. Because he would be like a Calais Campbell. He big, he's strong, he don't got a lot of moves, but you can't just move him off his spot. That brother's strong, dog. Like, I think Steven Adams would get busy down there in the trenches a little bit. So I can see that. Outside of that, everybody else getting folded. I'm sorry, dog. Like, I'm sorry.
Wemby?
Who?
Or could y'all imagine Wemby or KD
going
for a pass?
Oh my God.
One in the middle?
Oh, could you imagine?
That'd be a crime scene.
Could you imagine?
That'd be a crime scene.
Could you imagine Kevin Durant running a 10-yard dig and Jamal Adams sees it?
He gonna look like me. He gotta make that business
chicken alert. Barbecue chicken alert.
Oh, yeah. Let's say he does get a jump ball like in the back of the end zone, and he catches it like kind of like Antonio Brown style, but he wears like a size 13 cleat and he has 1 foot out of bounds.
Right. Like oh my God. Now hear me. I'm not saying that your size matters in that regard because we've seen Devontae Smith absolutely tear the NFL up, right? But that mentality is like, do I get up again? Devontae's been playing football for so long. He's like, I do.
And he played in the SEC, so them boys hitting.
He don't care.
It's like I'm
Wait, let me throw a name at you. You tell me yes or no. Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I can see him playing as safety or corner.
I see safety too. Like, the man's not totally skilled, but he's a hard worker with a dog mentality.
He's a strong safety.
I can see. Wait. Matter of fact, I can see Bam at the end. And here's another one that's quiet as kept because he's a dog as well. People just don't know it, and he could be a nasty receiver. Okay, hear me out. Kyrie would be nice at receiver. That's all I'm saying. Kyrie would get nice.
Would that be before or after?
His footwork? His footwork is what was separated.
I can see that. I wanted to say that, but I'm like, Kyrie.
His footwork is
great.
Let's not forget.
It's his releases.
That's what I'm saying.
The releases on itself would be a mixtape on its own.
He would just
Let's wrap it up.
One-handed.
I need to throw his name out here because he's known to being a pretty physical player. So much so he had to get anger management classes about
No,
it.
Draymond tried playing at Michigan State and got moved.
Yeah.
Draymond, no, he can't do
That's why
it.
he switched to basketball. Because
Draymond, no.
Mind you, Draymond's 6'9", 280. Like, he ain't small. It was getting worked.
Draymond,
I think he got the mentality to do it,
Yeah.
but he definitely don't got the skill to do it.
No, my dude ain't that tough, man.
Yeah,
Like-
I think he's got the mentality. Like Draymond,
he got basketball mentality.
Yeah, he's
Tough.
got.
No, I feel like if he's ever on a football field, man's gonna be doing the same kind of antics he's doing on the basketball court, kicking people and stepping all over people.
Here's my thing, man. Like, people don't understand all that goes into playing football. And I understand it takes a lot to play basketball, which is why I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, NFL players can just translate into the NBA. That's cap. That's absolutely. Granted, I think you have an easier chance to do that because here's the reality: if you can shoot, you can find a spot. They'll find a spot for you.
You just need the stamina. That's a really
Let's
big.
Let's go. Like, outside of shooting, like for the majority of what they did, what did they do more? JJ Redick, Kyle Korver, Duncan Robinson, Ray Allen late in his career, Mike Miller. You could
run,
find a spot.
A little bit of defense.
A little bit. That's what I'm saying. But
Run,
a little bit of defense.
Again, if you can shoot and you can move your feet, somebody said this. I got to give credit to Famous Los because he said he posted it on his page. Somebody said, "You mean to tell me NFL players can't come in and do what Pat Beverly does every night?"
Let's be honest. CJ Stroud still got receipts from cooking some of y'all favorite.
All you gotta do is slide your feet, keep the guy in front of you, and you got you strong. If you can knock down a corner three, PJ Tucker, if you could bow, you know what I'm saying?
PJ Tucker played defense.
I'm just saying. Here's what
PJ Tucker got a ring playing that way.
Here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think you would find more players who could do that in the NFL, in the NBA, than you could find NBA players that could walk into an NFL football field and not get crunched.
Wait, PJ Tucker, where would he play in the NFL?
He'd be on the DN.
Because PJ Tucker.
I say DN outside linebacker.
I'm saying it now. PJ can play.
PJ
could play. I can see outside. What?
PJ dog.
Yeah.
But like I said, so for me, it's just like I don't think people understand. Like the skill level in the NBA, ain't no NFL players got that right now. That's facts. Like we're not about to diminish the skill level. They are the best of the best, the cream of the crop. I'm not even about to go down that. Like what? As good as Myles Garrett is as a basketball player, he'd be the 12th man on the bench. Like, let's just call it what it is. From a skill level, the skill level to be able to do what they do and tween, like all of that
would not be able to be Jaime Jaquez right now.
It takes a different level. But stop thinking that all you got to do is run around on a football field. Like, these are grown men. I saw sports science, okay? I shout out to sports science. I saw the sports science. They did a sports science on two different players, right? One was Antonio Cromartie. Y'all remember Antonio Cromartie, cornerback for the Jets, okay? They had Antonio Cromartie get into his cornerback stance, backpedal for 6 yards, and sprint forward, hit a dummy, okay? They said the amount of force that Antonio Cromartie, mind you, Antonio Cromartie is not a big guy, okay?
Not a big hitter.
Not a big hitter. They said the amount of force that Antonio Cromartie hit with was the equivalent to a 35-mile-an-hour car crash. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a corner in the NFL. Then they did a sports science with Ray Lewis. Okay? Ray Lewis, first of all, ran through a door and sheared the bolts off its hinges. Okay? Let's just start there. But then they had a truck strap a dummy off the bed of it, hanging, going 30 miles at him. He hit it at a 10-yard head start running. They said the amount of force that Ray Lewis hit that dummy with was the equivalent to a fully grown hippopotamus sitting on your chest. They said if Ray Lewis could hit people with no pads and get a clean hit every time, he hit so hard he could stop your heart instantaneously. What are we talking about right now?
And Steph Curry could go down and go across the middle.
What are we talking? Austin Rivers, are you getting hit by Ray, Austin?
He not
playing me right now. You're gonna be on a stretcher.
No one's hitting like
Listen
Ray
here,
anymore.
James Jones had a great comeback for this. He said, and I quote, "Listen here, sir, this is ridiculous. This is nonsense coming from someone that does not play, coming from someone that has a career average of 9 points, coming from someone that has a career average of 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and my pop is a coach in the NBA and played in the NBA and has never had won and never been in an all-star game, never has won a championship, but yet he's coming at a guy that has led the league at one point in time in touchdowns and has had a Super Bowl ring to his name, but
let's face it, a Nepo baby.
Just saying. James Jones had a great response to that.
On, bro. Like, my thing is this, like, which one of y'all is really getting up and doing the Oklahoma for real? Like, it's volunteer. Like, I'm not talking about like, are you one of them in the line that you had to get pushed because you didn't get your rep in? I'm talking about is walking to the front of the line and saying, it's my turn.
No, let me get that.
No. Let's go. Nah. Like, the mentality is just different. You understand how insane you got to be Brian Dawkins, 6 foot, 220 pounds, and say, I see Algie Crumpler, 6'4", 237 pounds, running full speed down the seam. I don't care. I'm going to throw my entire being into his rib cage and dislodge whatever he's trying to catch.
I don't know about anybody else, but I used to have a drill and something that I used to do when I was a child, and it was called the dummy drill, where both people laid down about 3 feet away from each other, one with a ball in their hand, one without. And the goal was nothing but both get up as quickly as possible, and either you're going to get hit or lay a hit.
Ain't no juking. Ain't no.
It's not. It was you're going to hit him.
What we doing?
Or you're going to get run over by him. Which one are you going to be, the hammer or the nail? And good God, that was a fun drill. I don't even know if they allow that anymore because I have not been able to run it in a while.
Oh, like
I love that drill. That made football players and that made basketball players.
When you have a chance, do you remember the I forget the name of the machine that running backs use? It's like this, has like these pads that you run through like this.
Yes.
Coach, what's the name of that drill?
So that, how do I put this?
So
that is
many names.
Yeah, it has multiple names. We used to try to call it the no fumble drill, and it wasn't a machine. It would be, you would have a few coaches with maybe bags or something, or you may even have other players. And the whole point is, don't let that ball get ripped out. It does not matter. It does not matter.
Viral video that came out. So this baseball team had their game rained out. So they figured they'd just screw around, play with the leftover football equipment that's in the yard. The guy tries running with a football through the no fumbles drill. It's in like a door. It doesn't even go through.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's what I imagine.
Let me see one of y'all on the sled. Let me see one of y'all push the sled.
Let's see one of them push the sled where you actually have to hit it the right way so you can get it up there to push on that thing.
Listen to me. So, and this is the last thing I'll say on it. I was 218 pounds, playing corner and receiver. 218 pounds, kind of out of shape. We were doing Oklahoma drills. Okay. Now, typically, they try to keep the size on size, receivers and corners or receivers and safeties. Okay. I get up. It's my rep. Our starting middle linebacker, 6'2", 256 pounds, lays down. And they're like, no. We don't do linebackers on receivers. I said, I know y'all better lay him back down. I know y'all better lay him back down. We doing this drill. I don't duck no smoke. What are we talking about? Now, granted, did I win the rep? Absolutely not. I got folded. And I had a bruise on my arm for 2 weeks to prove it. I got folded. I realized why he played middle linebacker, and I didn't. I said, oh, that's what that means. Which one of you in the NBA is volunteering to do that? That's volunteering to say, yeah, me and Roquan Smith, let's.
No, that's a baseball drill, people. That is the baseball drill of all drills. Because afterwards, either you're going to play football or you're going to go play baseball. But you had one option. You're going to do the drill. Just what happens afterwards is on you.
Like, you, man, a lot of the jokers in the NBA are there because they probably couldn't make it in football. They probably got that first hit and was like, all right, I'm playing basketball. I'm good. And how do I know this? Because that's how I got into football. I went out for a track tryout, and I was like, oh, y'all got to do this much running? No, thanks. Football it is. Football it is. At least I can hit something, or somebody can hit me. At least there's an aim to my running. I'm just running aimlessly to say, yes, I did it. No, it is no shade to anybody running the track. Y'all are amazing athletes.
You demons.
I can't do it. Anyway.
When I proposed this topic, I did not think I'd be opening the floodgates. I can't get them.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I'm so tired of the conversation. I'm like, yo, please just shut up. Y'all are the best athletes in the world at your sport. Y'all, like, nobody's
enjoying it.
Enjoy the NFL chill. Like, they not sick. Yo, I can go.
Let's not act like McMillan didn't post a video.
That's why y'all have the celebrity all-star game for a reason, for people who think that they can play and they come in and make a fool of themselves. Myles Garrett went out there and was absolutely hooping against bums, and he looked like he was playing like he looked like he was the LeBron James of the all-star celebrity, but he looked like if he played in the NFL, he'd be Thanasis. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, he was not skilled like that. Like, he's good, but he is not making it in the NBA. That's why they're not talking about it. So stop talking about the NFL like you can just walk in here and it's going to be a quick cakewalk. You're going to get folded. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Aired Out Podcast brought to you by Inside the Hashes. I'm sorry that you guys had to witness this absolute absurdity and buffoonery for a last topic, but
had to be done.
It had to be done. Okay?
Yeah, had to be done.
It had to be said. Please do me a favor. Follow us on all your social media platforms, okay? That's Instagram and Facebook at Inside the Hashes. That's X or Twitter at Inside Hashes. And please do me a favor, going over to YouTube, okay? Like that thing, like that page right there. But don't forget to subscribe. And please turn on the notification button. That way you can get your comments drop right here in the chat when you engage with us like you saw here tonight. But please go to the website, www.insidethehashes.com. Okay, that's where you're going to get all things football related. Okay, that's where you're going to get blogs and podcasts and interviews and all of the things. We are the apex of football, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now if you don't want to do all of those things, I understand. I get it. No worries at all. You know what you can do? There's this little QR code that you can scan right here. That QR code right there. Scan that. It's going to take you exactly where you need to go. Okay, scan that QR code for Coach, for Juan, for Darius. My name is Avery Collins. This is the Aired Out Podcast, brought to you by Inside the Hashes. Now, I will say this. This is the last thing I'll say on the NBA NFL topic, okay? As long as none of them pat the football, I think they probably
I just think that if Steph Curry tried to go through the middle and like Ray Lewis is there, Ray Lewis would hurt him.
As soon
as the ball is gonna hit him,